Hey everybody, welcome back to the eBay shop. My name's Corey.
I'm Teresa.
And we are Grams and Pops Vintage. And today we're going to talk to you about kind of the breakdown of our week here in terms of sales. We did roughly we did exactly $4,381 and change in sales from Monday to Sunday, right?
Yep. So the 9th to the 15th.
Yep. So we're going to look at kind of how that broke down in terms of what did we sell and is that our normal? Is it not our normal? And we're also going to talk about some of the items that sold throughout this week, show you what some of those items were. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it and look at the first item that sold, and that was what?
A hummingbird, not a hummingbird, a hummingbird fishing transducer.
Yep. So hummingbird fishing transducer. This is for ice fishing. You lower it down through the ice hole.
Did we buy that at that place in Hartford?
Yeah, they were having like an indoor church sale type thing. We've sold probably 3 or 4 of these now. Different models, but of this that we've gotten on clearance from like a Runnings here locally, and one at a garage sale, and now this one at another like indoor sale. I think we only paid a couple bucks for this.
I think we
maybe
paid $5 for it.
Yeah, 5.
Because they didn't know what it was.
And that's new in box, sold for what?
$85.
$85. So if you see fishing stuff like that that's new in the box, look it up. Especially like depth finder or fish finder type stuff. Usually that stuff sells pretty good, even if it's not this brand. I think we recently sold an Eagle fish finder that was old stock. Yeah, and that sold for over $100. So those are pretty decent. All right, what do you got next?
We sold a Lego minifig. I gotta read this because it's long. The Lego Movie 2, Lucy versus Alien Invader minifig.
Okay, so that's it there.
You gotta turn it around so they can actually see it.
Well, you can't really.
There you go.
She's in there, but the bag says birds. I'm not sure why.
Because it was when I was going through Littlest Pet Shop. That's how they had them organized, was bird.
So we probably don't want to send that with the bag that says birds. But she has her little book in there, and she sold for how much?
$4.99.
Yep, $4.99.
She was part of our Lego bulk buy thing that we did.
Yeah, we did do one of those, which we probably wouldn't do again.
No,
I'm not a big fan of the Lego stuff.
I like putting them together.
Yeah,
but they didn't sell. I mean, only a few of them. We've made our money back on them.
Which is not what we're in business to do. So
we've made money on them.
We have, just not our typical profit margin, and with a much heavier workload to get there.
Yep, but it was fun.
So, all right, so let's look at some of the breakdown on that $4,381. That came out to 68 orders for us, which was what?
$64 average order value. I say average order price, but Corey corrected me and said it's average order value.
Yep, so about $64 per order, and that includes things that includes this $3 or $4,
$5
little four something you said.
$4.99.
But that includes little things like that. So don't be afraid to sell little things like that. They actually do.
If you get them for a good price. Yeah,
you have to. I mean, when you're buying bulk and you like that Lego buy, we might have had 10 cents in that individual piece at best.
Yep.
So selling it for $4, there's plenty of profit there. Most people won't bother with that. We don't mind it because to us that's an easy bump in activity for the store.
Yep. So in amongst that $4,300, however much it was exactly, some of those orders were, like he said, they were like a $2.99 or $2.99. That sounds really weird. A $2.99 order up to, I know we had a $675 order in there. And we also had a $1,099 order in there. So it varies, but as long as it's selling, I'm okay with it.
And currently, if we go back and we look at our 90-day totals and we kind of track back over the last 6 months or so, we're actually like where we're at, that 4,381 for a week of sales. Weeks tend to peak up and down a little bit, but our averages, that's pretty close to what our overall average is. What? Overall. It's pretty close to where we run normally. So it's not too far out of our normal range. We're still scaling. We're still growing as a business because we've only been doing this a little over a year. we're getting better inventory all the time. So I only expect that number to go up. But the big sales versus small sales, one of the places we grow where I think a lot of people miss opportunity is we will sell those $2, $3, $4 items, because to us, that's most people, they want to do, they say list for store activity to bump your store, get it going, and get the get the eBay algorithm on your site and working for you.
But sales are activity as well.
Sales are activity as well. They count just as much, maybe more than a listing.
And we have been, kind of on a slight side topic, we have been taking in ending listings and selling similar for some of the older stuff to either reduce price, change the settings, change description, something, just to try and get those moving as well.
Which is a good idea. I think a lot of people talk about that, and I think it is a good idea. We generally we almost never do it, and it's not because it's a bad idea, it's because we don't have time. With our listing schedule, we don't have time to monkey around with old listings very often, but coming into the winter months, so we kind of talked about this in one of our previous videos.
We will be doing that.
Yep, I think that's one of our winter chores.
I don't know how people do that. Like they say when instead of letting their item relist on its own every 30 days, they go in and end and sell similar.
Well, I think they do
constantly
end and sell similar every day on anything that hits the 30-day mark is kind of what I've heard, which would be, that's fine for a smaller store. We're over 3,000 items in the store right now. I don't think we could maintain that.
No.
Not long term with the way we list. I think by this time next year we'll probably be a considerably larger, well, if I can help it, we won't be too much larger than we are now in terms of inventory. It'll just be better inventory.
Yep.
And it would still, at this size, be prohibitive to do that.
We are doing better. We are getting some bigger items. I still will list no matter what. I will list my Littlest Pet Shop, and I will handle Barbies all the time.
Yep. And I think those are great. I think those keep our store active. I think every time we sell one of these, we get a little bit of a boost in the algorithm, and more people come look at different products on our store. So if you could find something that you can sell bread and butter all the time and keep them moving, I do believe those kind of juice up your store just as much as any new listing ever will, and maybe more. So, all right, let's look at what sold next.
We sold some, I put Avon on my list, but we sold some Mary Kay.
Yeah, that's not Avon.
I don't know why I kept thinking Avon, because I just listed some Avon things. We sold Mary Kay Blemish Control Toner Formula 3.
Yep, that looks like that. It's just a clear bottle, and there's nothing special to look at. It's just Mary Kay stuff. And I kind of got made fun of a little for buying this at the garage sale.
Oh, he did. They told him he would look fabulous once he uses the product.
I think the lady's husband was there, and he was giving me a little crap for buying makeup at a garage sale, but that's fine, because who's laughing now, Chuckles?
Okay, so that one sold for $22.95 free ship, but it'll probably only cost me like $4 to ship it. So
Yep, and I think we only had $1 or so in it.
Yep.
All right, what's next?
We sold some Sparkle Butt jeans. We sold some Rock Revival Amy Easy Boot denim jeans. They're number 70.
All right, so you can't see much of the sparkle because of the way we have them bagged, but they are bag number 70.
So, on the subject of Sparkle Butt jeans, I have learned that Rock Revivals are not a whole lot of Sparkle Butt jeans. They're more of the embellished,
decorative thread work.
Yeah, the embellished, Miss Me's are Sparkle Butt jeans.
Yep.
So,
these still qualify for us because these are a great seller at a great price usually.
Yep, and those ones are on the lower end of the size that I buy. I think those came from
25s.
Yeah.
That's
Typically I do 26, 27, 28 and up.
It's pretty small.
I think those came from our Pick-a-Picker.
Those sold for how much?
$54.99.
Yep. So even a small size, if the price is right, I don't think I'd pass them up even on the smaller size.
In the spirit of Halloween, we sold a Jemmy inflatable ghost with a pumpkin.
Yep.
He has that dumbfounded look on his face.
The ghost looks scared. That's kind of backwards, isn't it? Isn't the ghost supposed to scare? Even the pumpkin looks scared. Mm-hmm. So whatever the rest of the decoration in this yard is, I'd like to see it. But we have a bunch of these, not this particular one, but we have a bunch of these Jemmy air-blown inflatables. And we've done pretty decent with them, and the Halloween ones are moving pretty good right now. So this little guy is only 3.5 foot tall.
And he is practically, I'm pretty sure I took him out for pictures and he had never been out of the box before.
Yeah,
that.
it looked like he'd been just bought, never really used, or very gently used. So original box and everything, he sold for how much?
$29.99.
Yep, and we usually don't pay more than $5 for these.
Nope. I don't know what we paid for him.
All right, so the big question everybody's always asking about reselling and eBay is, can you do this full time? Can you do it for a living? And we've talked about that a couple of times, and I don't think our stance has changed. It's evolved a little, and a lot of it, when we were talking about it before, was speculation, and we think you can, and we're still growing, and it looks good. Now I would say pretty positively, I don't see why you couldn't do this as a living.
You could.
So that $43.81 in a week, and like I said, that's 1 week, but that's not a peak week for us. That's, if you look at our 90 days over the last 6 months, that's a pretty average on what we normally do here. And that breaks down to about $21.90 a month for take home, not a month, for that week for take home. And just say you round that down,
$2,000 a week.
just call it $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 a month between the two of us. Now, if you're living in California, you're probably thinking, well, that's crazy. You can't live on that. And
Dude, I just did some more math. So if you take that $2,000 a week, divided by 2 people working 40 hours a week, you make $25 an hour.
yeah. And like I said, if you're in California thinking that's not very much and you can't live on that,
Move to South Dakota.
yeah, move to South Dakota.
No. No. Stay in California. Figure it out.
I have to cut all this out.
Sorry. You can do it. I'll take my piece out, but don't encourage. I was encouraging them to move to South Dakota. I don't want Californians moving to South Dakota.
All right, so if you're in California thinking, well, that's not very much, I can't live on that, I get that. I think it depends on where you are regionally, what you need to make. But where we're at in the Midwest, $4,000 a month times 2, $8,000 a month for our family income here between the two of us, that's a decent, I mean, that's a decent earning. We do have other income. This is not our only income, but it is our primary source of income. And that's a decent wage, $25 an hour. I don't think that's much. That's nothing to scoff at. So can you make a living at this? Absolutely.
On the $25 an hour, I don't put in 40 hours a week here.
No.
So that average hourly price would be way higher.
Yeah, it's probably quite, if you were doing this 40 hours a week and giving it a true 9-to-5 job effort,
You would be paid $25 an hour.
I think you'd make, well, and I think you'd make more. So I don't think we're done growing yet either. Like I said, we've done this about a year. We're still scaling. We're still buying better inventory. We're still getting better at the job. And our averages keep growing. So I think we're going to be north of the 10 to 12,000 a month by the time this time next year. I don't see why we wouldn't be. At the rate we're growing, we should get there fairly soon. And that's a decent income for anybody in the Midwest, I would think.
Add a whopping $100 in there for our YouTube that we make.
Yeah, we are finally monetized on YouTube thanks to you guys. And there is a little bit of income there. But we do YouTube more for us and you guys than we do for the money. Because if you're thinking about doing YouTube and you think you would enjoy it, I would definitely say go do it, but I wouldn't do it thinking you're gonna turn that into money. Yeah. Yep. That's not the case. That's you got to hit rock star status on YouTube to make any amount of money that's going to matter. So the reselling side, however, I think is achievable by anyone.
It is, if you put your heart into it and dedicate yourself to it.
Yeah. So let's look at what sold next.
We sold some more Sparkle Butt jeans. We sold some Rock Revival Betty boot jeans.
Okay, we got bag number 98 here.
Yep.
And again, they're nothing to look at really in the bag, but I'll put a picture up here for you.
Those ones have sparkle.
And these ones do have some sparkle. They got a little gem on the button and everything. And those bag number 98 sold for what?
$45.
There you go.
Back to some of our bread and butter items. We sold another Littlest Pet Shop. We sold Pammy Platyfoot Platypus.
That is this little thing. That's a platypus. Huh.
It's a platypus. Look at its little tail.
Yeah, it is. All right, so we sold this little guy for how much? Well, girl, it's Patty. Well, it could be Irish. I don't know. Is it a girl?
It's Pammy.
A girl. Pammy.
Pammy. It's a girl.
That sold for how much?
$7.49.
$7.49. So, like I said, that's just like adding a new listing to your store you made a couple of bucks and you bumped the activity in your store some. So win-win.
So another piece that we picked from a picker, we sold another motorcycle. We sold a Series 10 Harley Davidson 2000 XL 1200S Sportster 1200 Custom.
Yep. And most of these little motorcycles are only $8 to $10 motorcycles. They don't sell for a lot, but there's a few standouts that do pretty well, and they've been selling pretty fast. We priced them all competitively. We're on the bottom side of the market, and they're selling out pretty quickly. And this one sold for how much?
$9.99, and it's going to Canada.
And it's going to Canada.
International.
So there's that one. It's out the door.
I do. Most of them, if you're looking at those, like we went to a, what do we call it? They listed it as an estate sale, and he had each one of those Maisto. I don't know how you say that.
Maisto, I don't know, Miyagi.
It's Maisto. So we went to a garage sale or / estate sale. I don't know what it was. They were moving.
The moving sale.
To a different country, or to a different state. They were moving to Montana. But he had a whole bunch of those Maisto, I think that's how you say it, motorcycles. He had them listed for $20 a piece. In my history
they were overpriced.
Selling them, yes. Most of them sell for about $10 a piece.
They were not just overpriced for resellers, like they were overpriced for the market. He had, you could tell he had an emotional attachment to them, and that's perfectly fine because he got to keep them and move them with him.
I might still reach out to him because at that sale, he had some really cool, and I don't think they sold, really cool remote control motorcycles.
They were basically those same motorcycles, only like
Big.
3 foot tall with a remote control. Like they were really big, but he had them marked up to like $200 a pop. So
yep. I might reach out to him because I know the last time he posted his stuff for sale, some of the stuff that we had looked at was gone, but those were still on his listing for his sale. So I might reach out to him.
And again, I think he was a little emotionally attached to him, and the prices reflected that. Mm-hmm. All right, so we talked about, can you do this as a full-time living job type replacement thing? And we both believe wholeheartedly, yes, you can. And that kind of leads into, what would you give someone for advice if they came to you and said, well, just pretend it's one of your kids that said, we would like to leave our job and go do this full time. What would you tell them?
One thing I would tell them is I would say, don't just quit your job without knowing, like, how do you say it? Not quit your job without knowing the money's there. So don't just quit your job and think you're going to go into selling reselling and you're going to make a buku bucks.
Yeah, we've only been in this for a year, so we did a pretty fast ramp up.
Yep.
And we got here quickly, but we didn't start out at $2,000 a week profit.
No.
We didn't start there, and it's not a straight up curve. Like, we were down here for a long time before it curved up.
Yep. Part of it that helped us too was our bulk buys that we bought. That helped us ramp up.
Part of it was our bulk buys, and part of it is the learning. You learn as you do this job, and you can't really, you can watch YouTube until you're blue in the face, but until you get out there and start buying and selling and trying to move this stuff and cleaning and finding out what you like and don't like, you're going to struggle, and it's not going to pay as well. So, but the good news is this actually makes a really good side gig. Like, while you can learn this while doing your normal job.
Yep.
You can learn this while you're going to school. You can learn this while you're in high school. You can really learn this while doing something else very easily, because it's literally going to a thrift store, a garage sale, looking things up as you see them, buying them at a decent price, and flipping them.
Yep.
And the only way to learn that job is to do it.
Yeah, because you have time, if you have 5 orders at night, you take your hour or 45 minutes, whatever it is, pack your orders, print your labels. And like us, if you're in school or you have a full-time job that's during the day, Monday through Friday, take Saturday and do like we do bulk listings. So we just list a whole bunch of stuff on a couple days a week so that we don't have to be in the shop every single day of the week.
You could pretty much build your own schedule however you want it, which is what the great part of the job is. And you could set your handling to like 3-day handling so you have time to ship until you get to the point where it makes sense to be top rated plus and move that to 1-day handling when you can start doing it more full time. But there's really no rules to it. You just have to get started and start learning. I will say you can learn, and you can learn some really good stuff on YouTube videos similar to this one. I would give you the caution of watching the dates. I don't think anybody out in the YouTube community, in the reselling community, is giving bad information per se.
No.
But But the information evolves. If you're watching what was selling 2 years ago compared to what's selling now, and for the prices they were selling, that information goes obsolete pretty quick, and it's ever evolving.
Yep, especially like an example, video games. So back during COVID, when everybody was stuck at home and they didn't have much to do because you couldn't go out and do a whole lot, video games and video game consoles were selling
Puzzles.
at a premium.
Yeah, people were selling puzzles for $50, $60 and video games for crazy prices. And now that, if you were buying them thinking you were going to get that much and you were paying up for them, you're stuck with stuff that you're upside down in. So you got to be a little bit careful looking at YouTube videos. When you're doing that, look at the date of the video. Is it a recent video? If it is, the information is probably still fairly decent.
Yep.
And don't be afraid to bust into a category you're not seeing on YouTube. Sometimes those are some of the best ones. All right, with that in mind, we're going to look at a few more things that did sell, because we do have to do the other side of this job, which is packing and getting stuff out of here today. So what's the next item that actually did sell?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We sold Leonardo.
Turtle.
But the song is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Just one, though. This guy.
We sold Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1988. Leonardo.
Yep, that guy right there. He's still got like his little vest thing. Like, that's an accessory that's usually broke, and he's still got it on him. So
we have 2 of them. This is the better condition of them. My other one is still in there. We have a few different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from that era.
All right, and what did he sell for?
$14.99.
There you go. So old toys are always fun for us to sell. We like old toys like that.
They're starting to bring out all the old toys back into new generation.
A lot of them, well, they're seeing the market explode on them from people our age growing up and starting to collect them, and they're starting to reproduce them. So, but not all of them, just some of them. All right, what sold next?
The last thing we sold was another Littlest Pet Shop. It is a Littlest Pet Shop. Pet Pairs, Series 1. Bijou Angora Persian cat. I don't know how to say it.
Look at this thing. Look how tiny that is.
It is seriously like a 1/4 inch tall.
He's like the size of my thumbnail.
Yep.
He's tiny. That's a tiny little Littlest Pet Shop cat.
Yep.
And this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Don't be afraid to look up something like this. If you're thinking that has no value, it'll often surprise you. And this one surprised me, because this little Persian cat sold for how much?
$9.
For that thing. Like,
plus shipping.
Seriously. So there you go. All right, so that's it for today. We're going to go ahead and get to packing, get to the post office, and we will see you guys next time.
Hasta la vista, baby.